Alright, guys, this is one of those cases that are very personal to me, and I don't have much to say in terms of preamble. I want to get right into it. I just ask that you all listen to the very end before making any premature comments or anything. So let's do this. My name is Detective Hemmings, codenamed Paperwork. I am the literary detective. Welcome to Case 33, the Big Three's finest. J.Cole. I am not an authority on hip-hop/rap. I am just a consumer, a fan and a passerby like most people. I did not grow up in extreme poverty. I am not a street dude. I didn't sell drugs or ever go to prison. I went to college on a partial soccer scholarship for journalism. I come from a blended family, and we went from low income to around middle class throughout the years. There were tough times. Hell, it's tough now. But the point I'm making is I did not come from nothing. So those aren't the stories that I can relate to, even though I appreciate the perspective. J. Cole's life was much harder than mine. But as far as rappers go that I really like, he's the closest to me. There's commonality and overlap between us. And while he's become bigger and bigger and accrued more income, he's, in my opinion, remained relatable and someone who speaks to me. I have long debated on exactly how I was going to tackle this particular video, and part of me wasn't even going to bother making it until J. Cole dropped the Fall Off release date, an album I've been excited to hear for many years. If you guys don't know this, Jermaine Cole is my favorite rapper, and I presently think he's one of the best rappers out. That doesn't mean there aren't other niggas who rap at the same level or don't get busy on the mic, like a Lupe Fiasco or Black Thought. Them ninjas are nice. But something I had to learn as a rap fan is just because you're a wordsmith, that doesn't mean you make records that people really want to listen to. Or maybe they have to be in a certain mood to listen to. There are all kinds of rappers for different moods, places, and subgenres of rap for all kinds of audiences. J. Cole isn't for everyone, and that's okay. I also don't care to change anyone's mind on the man with this video. I just want to present my case, speak from the heart and my mind about him and how I view things in general. So, as far as non-underground rappers go, who have mainstream success and critical acclaim, I am saying I believe J. Cole is the best rapper out of the big three and possibly the best rapper alive right now. Let's talk about it. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's talk. Let's just talk. I have a lot to say. I suppose the best place to start is with my hip hop history in a nutshell and my history with Cole. I'm going to speed run through this, don't worry. I'm not going to tell you every single song that moved me when I was like 4 years old. I don't have time for all that. I don't know the man personally, never met him, and I don't pervert parasocial relationships. I am just one man with his viewpoint and perspective. Growing up, I mostly listened to what my other siblings and parents listened to. I'm the second youngest of 5. My parents are not hip-hop people, but my older cousins, brother, and his friends were rap people. Grew up in a lot of Jay-Z, Nelly, Eminem, Nas, Destiny's Child, Snoop, 50 Cent, and by the time I was in middle school with an MP3 player and I was on my own and knew how to find music by myself, I was pretty big on Cassidy, Papoose, Joe Budden, Charles Hamilton, XV, Sci-Hi the Prince, Lupe Fiasco, who's actually my second favorite rapper of all time, and more people from like the blog era, such as Tyler the Creator and Earl Sweatshirt. It was around 2008 where on Dat Piff I found the Come Up. Little Ghetto Nigga was the first song I heard. I think I downloaded the tape out of sequence and had to order it correctly after the fact, but I thought the song was dope. A great opening act. He was rapping his ass off and getting a little melodic on the track, and in 2009 the warm-up came out and it was equally if not more fire. Now, I don't follow the lives of these people. I've learned about a lot of it in retrospect, like how Rock Nation and Hove stressed my mans out for years trying to get a hit out, which led to my favorite music project of all time, Friday Night Lights, baby. Now, I'm not here to bore everyone with the history of Cole and every single project he's ever made, but you get the point. I've been a fan from pretty early on. I will be 33 soon. I'm not that young. So from '08 to 2026, I have been a fan. He became my personal favorite in 2010 when FNL dropped. I always thought his pen was incredible, but I also appreciated how he stayed true to himself, who he is, and the older he got and the more the music industry disappointed him, he doubled down on just being who he is and speaking on real shit. Or at least shit I care about. And that continued. 2014's Forest Hills Drive is an incredible studio album seen as his magnum opus. By the way, that disc too, where he dropped like Winter Wonderland and stuff, fire. But I have always championed For Your Eyes Only as his best studio release. I think Folding Clothes is a song that's always taken out of context when it's contextually an important moment and point in the album, which had a reason for its creation. Nothing super original, but dope. Also, shout out to Dreamville and all the tapes they made. It's all incredible work. K.O.D is comparatively my least favorite album, but I think he proved his point on that tape, and the songs that go. For example, Kevin's Heart. Off Season is crazy good, so is Might Delete Later. Let me tell you guys something. If you hop on a track with Ab Soul and fucking Daylight and hold your own, if not out-rap them as a tandem, you are one of them ones and no one can tell you shit. Now, also when Cole went on his Future run, he bodied everyone. I have never seen anyone out-rap Cole on a song. There's one I'm willing to have a conversation about, but we'll get there when we get there. Real quick, he's also a beat maker and producer. He does it all, and I feel like it's a disservice to not mention that. Okay, let's finally get into the nitty gritty. Cole recently dropped 4 freestyles with DJ Clue called Birthday Blizzard 2006 or 26. He dropped it on January 28th of 2026 for, I believe, his 41st birthday. He's around that age. He's rapping his ass off, and a lot of people feel like he can't pop his shit because of the apology situation. I am not here to tell you how to feel about that, whether you mess with Cole or not. I was even disappointed for like a day or two before I remembered who he is. And he had a moment where I think he stepped outside of himself because of what was going on. The situation, the pressure, male ego, all of those things. It happens to the absolute best of us, me included. Drake and Kendrick really don't like each other, apparently for years. I had no clue, and seeing how this beef turned out with allegations, I'm actually personally glad that J.Cole wasn't a part of it. But let me say this first. I like Drake, and especially Kendrick. I remember when Kendrick and Cole fans were the same people. Kendrick is probably like my 3rd or 4th favorite rapper. I'm really a huge Tyler the Creator fan. I don't think that he's better overall, but I flip-flop a lot on those two. But for the time being, Kendrick has my bronze. So remember, everything that I say as a fan of Dot. But let's start with Drake. I only in 2024 listened to Drake's entire discography. He's extremely talented. He is a superstar, the superstar, and the hit maker who revels in his celebrity. Nothing wrong with that, but most of his music never personally appealed to me, though he has plenty of songs, features, and projects I hold in high regard. I am not shooting at Drake. I just didn't naturally gravitate towards him, but I never thought he was bad, and at no point did I think he was honestly better than Cole or Kendrick. Remember when I said just because you rap good, it doesn't mean that people want to listen to you? Drake has the masses listening, runs up the numbers, and I think that means something. Kendrick Lamar. You might be shocked to hear this, but as long as I was a fan of Jermaine and Kung Fu Kenny, for the majority of that time, I actually always thought Kendrick was better. In some ways, I still do, but what I believe at this point is that Kendrick is the full package, a true artist through and through. He can rap at the highest level. People want to hear him. His live performances are incredible. His albums are all undeniable, on top of all having great concepts. He speaks truth to power and can make a conscious record a slap. He has no weaknesses, and all of his rapper stats, if you will, are at least at a 94. Does that make sense? I'm thinking about Damn, playing it in reverse or in order, wickedness versus weakness, and it tells a different story. His therapy lessons on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, or even his life story on Good Kid, Mad City. Side note, I'm a Section 80 stan. That's my favorite project by him, and I still spin it to this day. My argument is that since about 2018, when Cole started bodying features and being more outside with Dreamville, he's become a better pure MC than Dot. So if Kendrick's pen and lyricism is a 96, I'm saying Cole is a 98 or a 99. I can't confidently say that my favorite rapper does the other things better. Maybe some just as well as Kendrick, but I do think Cole's pen is better presently. I do. You don't have to agree, because a counter argument that I tend to hear is how complex a Kendrick verse can be. However, complexity does not mean better. Just because something is simple, it doesn't make it worse. I might be killing people with a simple jab step, one dribble pull up, and maybe you have Kyrie's entire bag. Now that's super fly, but at the end of the day, I'm using less energy or moves to get 2 points. Just as effective. None is inherently better than the other. There are pros and cons to each. I hope that made sense. Maybe a better example for my channel are something like dynamic characters versus static characters. It just depends on the type of narrative you are trying to tell, and sometimes a character that goes through traditional character development works better for a story, but sometimes one that doesn't change works, like Goku for Dragon Ball. I hope that point is crystal clear. I think the off season is overall better than Mr. Morale, and honestly, GNX is hard for me to judge. I'm not from the West Coast, I'm Canadian. I keep it Canadian like Lil Wayne said to do, but I do not dislike the album. It did not resonate with me. I didn't care for those LA bops. My favorite tracks are like the ones where he's just rapping, like the one about his pen. But even feature for feature, I'm thinking of something like Family Ties with Baby Keem versus something like Cole on Johnny's P's Caddy. I genuinely think Cole has been rapping better. I don't know who would win between the two or all three in a rap beef, but I think you're being incredibly disingenuous and obtuse to think Cole was A, out of his depth, or B, would get cooked. I don't know where you stand as a listener. I don't know who or what you listen to, but all three of these dudes are special in their own right. I think something I have noticed, and it's something as I start to age, start to realize I've embodied as a person, is I'm just about the craft or the art. Like whether we're talking about music, games, manga, comics, I just appreciate the art. And don't get it twisted. I compare shit, people, and series all the time, but I did it way more when I was younger. So this is not me attesting that I'm better than people who care about competition. I was a toxic CR7 supporter during the Messi and Ronaldo era in La Liga Plus. I was a huge Kobe fan and once upon a time a LeBron hater. But for something as subjective as art, I don't think you have to battle rap or get into a rap beef to be the best. Does it help? Absolutely. Cole can't do that anymore apparently. However, I think as someone who has been let down by the industry, he's testing the people, the media, the listeners one more time. He said he's going to lead with the skill, not engagement, not beefs, not clout chasing, not bots or numbers. The pure art form of hip hop, and I think is admirable and not an impossible task. I also think he could continue to say he's the GOAT, no matter how mad it makes a lot of you, because ultimately, if you hop on a track with him, he'll murder you. And he's done that. I don't know if these niggas are still friends or not, but if two or all three of them hop on a track and let's say Cole has the hardest verse, I think that means something. So there are multiple ways to the top, you feel me? That's my stance. Not that him being wildly regarded as the GOAT means anything to me personally. I just want great music from my favorite rapper. Black Friday was the song I was thinking about, where I'd usually argue Kendrick kind of got the one up on Cole, but a lot of people actually fight me on that. I don't know where you guys stand. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. The last portion of this situation that I think gets overlooked is that other people will get involved because you have a rap beef. Your significant other, kids, family and friends. It's one thing if I'm the lightning rod, but I don't know that I'd be comfortable letting people I care about take major blows because I want to rap aggressively at someone I don't like. That's not fair to them, and with how messy things got with this beef, I think Cole chose to protect his peace and family by respectfully bowing out. As crazy as it looked. Now, let's move on to why I appreciate Jermaine Cole on a personal level. Some of these things I mentioned in passing, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit more. So him being a feature killer and his pure technical skill. In recent years, I'd argue that Cole has surpassed his peers in pure rapping mechanics. While Kendrick is more experimental and Drake more melodic, Cole has undergone a second prime where he has arguably out-rapped everyone he stood next to. So his feature run from 2018 to about 2024. Cole's guest verse on Johnny Speed's Caddy, A Lot, First Person Shooter, The Secret Recipe with K.O.D. became legendary. He often washed the lead artists on their own song, showcasing a level of technical consistency and hunger that critics argue Drake and Kendrick haven't matched in the same time frame. And his adaptability. I think this is what he proved on K.O.D. He can hop on a drill beat, a cappella, trap beat, a soulful boom bap track, and sounds like he owns the whole pocket. Relatability and being the middle child of rap. If Kendrick is the prophet and Drake is the superstar, Cole is the peer. He's got the everyman's perspective. Cole's writing focuses on the struggle of the average person, bills, family, self-doubt, and the nuances of maturing and having to deal with things like lust. And he's like the bridge. As he describes a middle child, he acts as the bridge between the lyrical legend of the 90s and the new upcoming stars of the next generation. He's seen as the most grounded of the three, maintaining a regular guy persona that makes his wisdom feel more earned, accessible, even as he accrues millions of dollars. And he is the self-sufficient architect. I think one of his claims to the throne is his independence and pure approach to the craft. I know the triple platinum with no features thing has become a meme, but the underlying achievement is pretty impressive and serious. For many years, Cole refused to lean on big name guest spots to sell records, proving his pen alone was enough to carry a blockbuster album like 2014's Forest Hills Drive. And remember, he's a producer and rapper. Unlike Drake, who's a massive team of writers and producers, or Kendrick, who works with a tight circle of elite producers, Cole produces a significant portion of his own music. He's a one-man army in the studio, if you will. I'm not saying he doesn't have a team and help, but he can do a lot by himself. And then his legacy and mentorship of his labels, I think, means a lot. I would argue he's done a lot to grow the culture more than his peers from his label. Through Dreamville Records, he has scouted and developed high-level talent like Jid, Bass, and I know Ari Lennox, I believe, has left at this point, but Shia Butter Baby, all of that, she's tough. And he's the elder statesman. Drake is often seen as someone who's trying to be cool with the youth or compete with them. And while Kendrick remains very elusive, Cole is frequently seen mentoring the younger rappers, emphasizing the importance of the craft over clout. If we remove the sport of beefing from the equation, Cole's case for being the best pure lyrical lyricist actually gets much stronger without the noise or the drama. You can focus on what you can call the art of the pen. His lyricism stands alone because of the transparency over mystique. Kendrick often uses heavy metaphors and cryptic voices that require a decoding manual. Cole's lyricism is impressive because it's crystal clear. He tackles complex themes like the school to prison pipeline or the pitfalls of fame using language that feels like a conversation, which is arguably harder to do well. His flow state, Cole has mastered a specific type of conversational flow. In tracks like Change or '03 Adolescence, he weaves intricate internal rhyme schemes without ever making it feel like he's trying to rhyme. It feels like natural speech that just happens to be perfectly on beat. And his technical density is insane. If you look at his recent work, specifically the off season or maybe some things on Might Delete Later, his syllable matching and multi-syllabic rhyming schemes are at an all-time high. He can keep that same rhyme scheme for a whole song. Even disc 2, track 2, which he dropped recently with the video, where he's paying tribute to Nas, rapping in reverse. Do you not see the rhyme scheme he kept for how long? That's crazy. He's got a purist perspective. For a lot of listeners, the best should be the person who writes the most compelling, honest, and technically sound verses year after year after year. So by that metric, Kendrick is an auteur, focused on the movie or the album. Drake is the hitmaker, focused on the vibe and the charts. Cole is the craftsman, focused on the verse. He treats a guest feature on a random song with the same reverence a master carpenter treats a piece of fine wood. He's obsessed with the mechanics of the craft itself rather than the theatricalness of the industry. I've actually been speaking for longer than I thought I would, so I'd like to end this by talking about some of my favorite Cole features and projects. I don't always know that I'm actually doing this at the level that I believe that I'm doing it at, but I've always been someone who can separate his favorite from what he believes to be the best. Kobe Bryant is my favorite basketball player of all time. He's my GOAT. I don't think he's the GOAT. I think it's Michael Jordan. I think once Lionel Messi won the 2023 World Cup, he became better than Ronaldo. Ronaldo's still my favorite and my GOAT, but I do think Lionel Messi is the GOAT of football or soccer. So I'm usually able to separate the two. Again, I don't know that I'm always doing the best, but I feel like I've always been pretty good at doing that. So my favorite feature from J.Cole is actually on Wale's track called Beautiful Bliss. I think it's an elite track. It's wildly considered as the moment J.Cole arrived in the industry. And if I remember correctly, it's the first verse he recorded after signing to Roc Nation. And you can hear that I have something to prove energy in every single line. You know what I mean? It was a mission statement. I really like Secret Recipe too because I really like what he was saying from the political side, but Johnny's P's Caddy is probably his best feature, and it's hard to argue against it when his verse is pretty much a clinic on breath control and pocket and using really good rhyme scheme. And when he said, "I'm probably gonna go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature," it's one of those rare moments where a rapper explicitly claims to be the best alive and actually sounds like he's proving it in real time. My favorite two projects from J. Cole are Friday Night Lights because of the hunger. This is Cole at his most athletic, if you will, because it was originally intended to be his debut album. He was rapping like his life depended on every syllable. Some standouts could be like Too Deep for the intro, sampling, I think Erykah Badu. I'm sorry, I'm not the most well-versed in all music, but he was rapping about the transition from Fayetteville to New York City. It showed he can do soulful storytelling thing better than almost anyone since Kanye's college dropout era. The versatility was really incredible to witness, and here you have the sheer bar fest of Back to the Topic sitting right next to Enchanted, which is one of the most hauntingly poetic songs he's ever made. But For Your Eyes Only is something that I think gets a bad rap, and I still think is one of his best work, if not his best studio album, because of the narrative. If Friday Night Lights Cole is the rapper, For Your Eyes Only Cole is the writer. There is a perspective shift. Most rappers spend their whole careers talking about themselves. Cole spent an entire album at large rapping from the perspective of his late friend James McMillan Jr., I think his name was. The humanization of songs like Neighbors or Change aren't just about the struggle, they're about the psychology of it. The way the title track ends, revealing the whole album as a tape left behind for a daughter to know her father, is one of the best prestige TV style twist in music history. It's less about being flashy and more about being heavy and intentional. Now, before I wrap this up, I want to actually get to something that I don't think I really have admitted ever. I'm upset that these fan bases and media and whatever went beyond between Drake and Kendrick have forced this split. I remember when a lot of the big three were the same fan base, or Kendrick and Cole fans were like lock and step. You may have had your order and who you preferred, but you usually messed with both. At least where I came from in Toronto. Most Kendrick fans like Cole, most Cole fans like Kendrick. Temptation, shock the world. I'm never getting my friggin' feature. I'm not getting my album. You guys ruined this for me. I want a song with all the big three. I got my Drake and Cole already. Forbidden Fruit was not enough. I wanted Kendrick Lamar and Jermaine Cole on the track, y'all. You guys, I don't know what the relationship is like. For all I know, this could still happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen. We're in the wrong timeline where they beefed instead of collabs. So I hope you guys are fucking happy. I'm never gonna get my Temptation, Shock the World, and all of them damn collabs that I've wanted to see. Black Friday was not enough, so I'm angry at everybody, the whole damn world. But anyways, in all seriousness, at the end of the day, this is just an opinion of many. I am not special or above anyone for these takes. I just think my take here is more relaxed, even keeled, and gives everyone their flowers without having to discredit everyone. Drake is dope, Kendrick is dope, and so is Cole. This is the era of rap I grew up in, so I resonate with it a lot, and I just wanted to offer my perspective. But now, all we can do is wait for the fall off, shit, and Iceman, and see what these albums do and let the chips fall where they may. I don't plan on doing too many videos on music because I don't think I am the best mind for this. But this was a video I wanted to make just to talk about someone I've been listening to for like 2 decades religiously. I'm not copying pleas or trying to run interference. You can think and believe whatever it is that you want, just like I can at the end of the day. I don't get paid for this, and I do not know these people. But I do believe the middle child is the best rapper out of the big three and one of the greatest rappers alive. When it's all said and done, he will go down as a true hip-hop legend. Thank you for your time. I'm so excited for the fall off, y'all. I can't wait. Let me know what you thought about this video and J. Cole, whether you're a hater, a fan, indifferent, or somewhere else on the spectrum. But consider this case solved. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And be safe, y'all. Fall off coming soon. Or maybe it's already out.